Nightbane, the Lightlark Saga Book 2, Epic Storytelling Summary. In a world where light is power and shadow hides secrets older than time itself, one name echoes across 6 realms. One girl holds the fate of all, yet even she cannot escape the pull of desire, betrayal, and the shadows lurking within her own heart. This is the story of Isla Crown, the girl who dared to rise above curses that had chained the world for centuries, and yet found herself tested by the most dangerous forces of all: love, temptation, and the choices that define a ruler. The echoes of the Centennial Games had barely faded when Isla stepped into her crown. 2 realms now lay under her rule, their people whispering her name with awe and envy. The victories she had won, the curses she had shattered, they marked her as a legend. Yet few truly knew the source of her power, the secret that lingered in the deepest corners of her mind, waiting to resurface. Some secrets refused to stay buried. Lightlark, the city of shining towers and clandestine shadows, gleamed under the moon's silver gaze. Its streets were alive with intrigue, music, and whispers of desires no crown could command. Here, Isla found herself drawn not to duty, but to distraction, the kind that promised fleeting freedom. Velvet halls and candlelit streets called to her. Courtesans and secret societies, masked revelers and forbidden laughter. Lightlark's seductive heartbeat thrummed in sync with her own, tempting her to forget the weight of her crown. Yet even as the city welcomed her, the world beyond its gates did not pause. Fellow rulers, jealous and calculating, watched her ascent with narrowed eyes. Some questioned her right to power. Others plotted the downfall of the girl who had dared to claim what generations before her could not. And in the midst of celebration and shadows, betrayal stirred like a storm. Isla Crown was no ordinary queen. Brave, cunning, and fierce, she bore the scars of battles won and the weight of responsibilities she had yet to fully embrace. 2 hearts now held her love, 2 rulers whose loyalty and desire were entwined with her own destiny. And yet love was a dangerous ally, capable of blinding, binding, and breaking even the strongest of wills. Her heart was a battlefield, and she was both soldier and prize. In the wake of betrayal, Isla's instincts wavered. Would she stand as the ruler her realms needed, or would she allow herself to be swept away by the pleasures Lightlark offered? The temptations of the city were many, and the cost of indulgence, invisible until it was too late. Secrets long buried began to surface, the truth of her powers, of her past. They lingered at the edges of her consciousness, whispering reminders that even a queen cannot. Beyond the glimmering streets of Lightlark, the 6 realms simmered with tension. Allies and enemies alike watched Isla with calculating eyes. Some had accepted her victory silently, hiding resentment beneath polite bows. Others openly challenged her claim, believing her ascent to power unearned. Every decision became a chess move, every glance a potential threat. Even the people closest to her could harbor secrets capable of shaking the foundations of her rule. Trust was a luxury, and betrayal, a constant shadow. Among those who lingered in her court, whispers of dissent grew louder. Not all rulers had accepted the outcome of the games. Some believed the curses that had plagued generations should remain unbroken. And when power is questioned, even the strongest hearts are tested. Death was never far from Lightlark. Isla knew that. The city thrummed with invisible dangers, assassins cloaked in charm, conspiracies masked in laughter, and plots that could unravel kingdoms overnight. And yet her greatest adversary was not the enemies at her gates. No, it was the traitor within, the one that whispered in her heart, tempting her to follow desire over duty, impulse over wisdom. Would she surrender to the allure of Lightlark's darkness, or rise to meet the responsibilities she could not abandon? Each choice carried weight. Each decision rippled across realms, and every moment brought her closer to a destiny that could either unite the 6 realms or shatter them forever. Some power is too dangerous to wield lightly. 2 rulers bound by more than loyalty held her heart. Their presence offered solace, yet also stirred conflict. A reminder that love, though intoxicating, is also a battlefield. In their eyes, Isla saw a reflection of her own strength, her own fear, and the promise of what could be, or the danger of what might fall apart. Romance, like power, was a delicate dance. Every whispered word, every stolen moment, risked exposure. In Lightlark, pleasure and peril were inseparable, and Isla, she had never been one to shy away from either. As Isla moved through the city, fragments of her past resurfaced. Memories of what she had endured, of powers discovered and feared, of secrets that shaped the very essence of who she was. Every shadow held a story, every corner a revelation. The past was never truly gone. It lingered, whispering warnings, guiding choices, and reminding her that destiny is a living, breathing thing, one that cannot be tamed, only faced. Some mysteries were personal, others universal. Lightlark itself seemed alive with memory, its streets and towers echoing the history of those who had fought, loved, and fallen within its walls. And now Isla would add her own chapter, one that would ripple through time if she survived the trials ahead. Enemies, both seen and unseen, tightened their hold. Political rivals maneuvered to undermine her reign. Secret societies whispered in shadowed corners, and even in moments of celebration, danger lurked. A knife hidden behind velvet, a poisoned chalice disguised with laughter. Every step Isla took was measured, every decision, a potential catalyst for chaos. She knew that the stakes were not just her life, but the fate of 2 realms and the fragile peace that connected 6. And in the midst of all this, Isla's heart remained her greatest challenge. Love, trust, desire, all collided with duty, honor, and ambition. She would need every ounce of courage, every shred of cunning, to navigate the treacherous path that lay ahead. For some battles are fought not with swords, but with the heart itself. The night deepened, and Lightlark shimmered like a jewel in a crown of shadows. Every alleyway, every tower, seemed to hum with hidden purpose, a reminder that in this city, nothing was ever truly. Isla Crown walked through it all, a queen in name and spirit, yet still discovering the depths of her own power. Each step brought awareness of the fragile threads that held her realms together, threads spun of trust, fear, loyalty, and desire. She had seen betrayal before, felt its cold sting, yet the betrayal that lingered now was different. It was quiet, insidious, like a shadow slipping between the light. And Isla knew, with an instinct honed in the fires of past trials, that the greatest dangers often come not from enemies we see, but from truths we refuse to acknowledge. Some threats hide not in swords or spells, but in the choices of the heart. Her powers, mysterious and potent, whispered to her in moments of solitude. Memories of the past flickered, victories earned, curses broken, lives changed. And through it all, the pull of Lightlark's pleasures tugged at her will, daring her, yet responsibility could not be escaped. Every whisper of conspiracy, every glance of doubt from those who watched her, reminded her that a queen's strength is measured not only in victories, but in the choices she makes when none are easy. And so, Isla balanced on the knife's edge of destiny. 2 realms relied on her, 2 hearts called to her, and the city itself seemed alive with secrets yet to be revealed. Every celebration hid a danger. Every smile could conceal betrayal. Every shadow was a story waiting to unfold. The people of Lightlark, oblivious to the storms swirling beneath the glittering surface, looked to her as a symbol of hope and strength. They could not know the battles she fought in silence, the fears she carried in her chest, the desires that both fueled and threatened her reign. Leadership is a lonely road, even for the brightest of stars. Isla's heart was a battlefield. The pull of love, the lure of temptation, the whisper of freedom, all battled against her sense of duty, her instinct to protect the realms, and her need to understand the truth of her own powers. And beyond her, beyond the revelry and intrigue of Lightlark, the world waited. Unseen forces moved like currents beneath calm waters. Alliances could shift, loyalties could falter, and the smallest misstep could ignite chaos across 6 realms. Yet in the midst of uncertainty, one truth remained. Isla Crown was not a girl who could be controlled, constrained, or defeated easily. Her spirit was fierce, her heart bold, and her power unprecedented. The city of Lightlark would test her. Her enemies would challenge her. Her heart would tempt her. And through it all, Isla would need to navigate the delicate balance of desire, duty, and destiny. The fate of realms is never simple, and the crown weighs heavy. The night was far from over. The shadows still whispered. Secrets still waited to surface. And Isla, standing at the threshold of power and temptation, felt the thrill of a journey that was only beginning. For even as danger loomed and hearts were tested, one certainty remained. The story of Isla Crown was far from finished. The realms awaited her decisions, the shadows awaited her courage, and the city of Lightlark would never be the same. And so the crown sat heavy. The night whispered secrets, and the girl who had defied curses and captured hearts prepared for the trials that lay ahead. A queen in a world that demanded not just power, but strength of spirit, clarity of heart, and the courage to face the unknown. Because in Lightlark, the greatest battle is always within.